We're just asking people if they know. Have you heard of net zero?
No.
Okay. Do you know what net zero is, or what do you know about net zero?
To be fair, I don't know much about it.
Okay, that's all right. We're just asking people. Do you know what net zero is? Do you know anything about it?
No.
No. That's pretty much what we're finding out from people. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Do you know what it's connected to?
Not really.
Have you heard of net zero?
I'm not from England.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right then.
Yeah.
The question is, do you know what net zero is? No. Okay.
I'm a tourist.
Yeah. But you might have heard of it. The idea you have to lower carbon emissions for the environment. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
It's a bullshit.
Can we ask you a couple of questions? It's not a prank or anything like that.
But I'm a tourist.
That's okay. You can be a tourist. We're just wondering. We're just asking lots of people. Do you know about net zero? Have you heard about net zero?
Net zero, about climate change.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? Any more than that?
Yeah, I would reckon it's don't waste more carbon dioxide than you produce or something.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Do you know anything more than that? Do you know how it might affect you?
I couldn't drive a car.
You couldn't drive a car?
No, I believe not. I had to plant a couple of trees. And you have to, if you fly, you have to pay off also with trees, I believe, or whatever those airlines offer.
You have to offset your carbon.
CO2, yeah, carbon neutral flight or something.
Okay.
It's probably a big hoax, I don't know.
Your meat consumption lower.
Right, less meat, yeah. I've heard of that.
What do you think about that?
Well, less meat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Each their own. I don't mind having less. If it's better for the planet, I guess.
So would you be happy to go with some of these lowerings of carbon emissions, like maybe not having a car or eating less meat?
Yeah, I don't mind. If there's good alternatives, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea of driving places A to B. It's easier.
Yeah.
For my future, I want to drive a car. That's a goal for mine. So,
What about if they said you weren't allowed to eat meat anymore?
That's wild. That's wild. That's my main meal.
That's my proteins.
What if net zero involved not being able to fly to another country for on holiday ever again?
I mean, if it's meant to be that way, it's meant to be. But obviously, everyone loves to travel. But I feel like I'd like to think that's not really in our lifetime. As peak as that sounds, as horrible as that sounds, I tend to not worry about it as much. You know what I mean? Does that sound bad?
Do you have any idea how that might affect you?
Yes, the first thing I would say is forget all of that and everybody go vegan for 2 years and we'll turn the planet round.
Okay. Would you be happy to give up your car, for example, or a car if you had one, or car travel in general?
If the electric cars were better than they are at the moment, I think it's the way to go.
Go on. Do you think it might affect whether you drive a car?
Possibly, yeah.
Would you mind if you weren't allowed to have a car because...
Yeah, probably because I think a car, you want to go... a car's a central thing to really need in life in a way, because it gets you everywhere.
What about if they said you couldn't fly abroad for holidays and things like that?
I mean, I think some people could get annoyed about that, but it's not very valuable to a lot of people to go on holiday, but it could be very valuable. So, but if you live abroad, it could be a bit awkward.
Would you mind if you were told you couldn't fly anymore for the environment?
Forever.
Yeah. Net zero.
Net zero?
Yeah.
What is net zero?
Where they're trying to lower carbon emissions to zero.
We got the same shit in Germany.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do for the planet right now is if just half the world would go vegan, just for a couple of years, it would be enough to turn everything around.
What do you think about, would you be okay with maybe not flying if for the same reasons?
Well, you see, the thing is this, my son and daughter-in-law and 2 grandchildren in Australia. Now, I can't say that I would be prepared to not take a flight out every other year.
So you're not going to give your car up for climate change?
No.
What about meat?
I like meat.
Yeah, so you're not...
My family likes meat too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're not going to give that up either?
No.
But would you be happy, for example, do you eat meat at the moment?
I eat meat, yeah, absolutely.
Would you be happy to cut that out for the sake of the environment?
No.
No. Do you have any thoughts on the idea that some of this is being imposed by people who don't do it themselves? So maybe some people who are telling us to give up flying or driving are maybe not prepared to do that themselves. They fly everywhere they want to in private jets. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it's hypocrisy.
Yeah. Okay, today we're in Camden Town, and I've just been asking people questions for an upcoming film about net zero, and we've been asking them what if they actually know what net zero is, and a lot of people, I was a little bit surprised, a lot of people didn't have any idea what the term net zero meant, and when you sort of pushed it along a little bit, said maybe it's about the lowering carbon emissions and this kind of thing, they understood that, they had an awareness that there is a drive to lower carbon emissions, so then I would ask them how that might affect their lives, and again, there was not an immediate sense of what they would have to do to achieve lower carbon emissions.